up, guys? Welcome back to the Gold Guide YouTube channel, and welcome back to the 1974 Honda MT250 Elsinore restoration. And in this one, I am restoring the frame. Now, the frame really isn't in too bad of shape. There are some rusty spots, but nothing is cracked, nothing's bent. Pretty straight frame, so it's going to be pretty simple. It's going to be a pretty quick video here. All I'm going to be doing is cleaning it up, repainting some spots. Well, I guess I'll just paint the whole thing. Also, I wanted to say I am sorry for not posting this video last week. I wanted to get one video out per week at least, but it's been tough. I've had a lot of bills coming in like all at once and taxes, so I had to pick up another job and start working again. So it's gonna be kind of hard to make YouTube videos. If you want to help me out, check out my Patreon and my PayPal. You can donate to me there, and I would greatly appreciate it. It would help out a lot with just having more time to make videos for you guys to watch. But either way, you know, I really appreciate the support. Even just clicking on my videos helps a lot. So let's go ahead and get right into this, guys, and start fixing up this frame. Guess I should just, come on, let go. This one is absolutely filthy, but I guess I should just add in the swing arm to this video, because it's kind of part of the frame. I can't properly restore this frame unless I pull all of the components apart. So the skid plate here, that comes off, the foot pegs come out, and the kickstand also comes off. You know what? Before I even do that though, it's a beautiful day outside. It's starting to feel like spring. It's in the 60s. So why don't we just get this frame outside and we'll give her a wash before I start. This will make the whole process a lot easier, so we can at least see what we're working with. Seems like this spring may have been falling off. That's why they tied it to the kickstand with a wire. So, I don't know. Just a guess. But we definitely won't need this anymore. And then we just need to remove this bolt, which goes through to the other side of the kickstand, which is threaded. I don't think it's supposed to look like that. Easy fix. Beautiful. Wow. And there's also a very strange looking bolt. So now I think all that's left is the skid plate, which has two bolts holding it on. Now the skid plate is loose, and then these little band clamps come off, and those will need cleaned up. So now we just have the skid plate, but there is the torsion bar removed. Now we just have this like chain guard thing here. Wow, okay. It's not cracked at all, so I'm just gonna need to clean this thing up real good. Whew, finally got this freaking chain guard clean. Whatever kind of grease that is, it just does not want to come off. It is so stuck on there and dried. Took forever to get it off, but it is looking pretty good now. Now it's time to get all the rust and crap off of this skid plate. Definitely does seem like this is supposed to be straight, so I'm gonna just hit it with a hammer, straighten it out. Alright, it's looking pretty straight now, so I would say the skid plate is all good and ready for some paint. Now let's see if the torsion bar will clean up. I couldn't see this before, but there's actually a 1 and a 2 stamped into the torsion bar. Huh. Strange. Next up, kickstand. And the swing arm. This one's real dirty. Alright, there's the swing arm, ready to go. Now we are just left with all these little rusty pieces of metal, springs, bolts, all this kind of stuff. So for that, I'm just gonna toss it in this old milk jug. There we go. And then I'm gonna dump this rust remover inside, and this will take care of it. Now it's time to do the frame, and I've thought long and hard about this, trust me. I've came to the conclusion that I am not going to remove all of the paint off of this thing like I usually do because this frame is almost good enough that I don't even need to paint it, but there are some rusty spots, especially around the welds, and those are going to need repainted. So what I'm going to do is just clean all the rust off of those spots and then sand and rough up the paint a little bit, and then I can just repaint the whole thing over some of the existing paint. This is going to save a lot of time and dirt. My workshop has been getting so dirty throughout this process that it is insane. And I think this factory paint is pretty good. I'm not worried about it coming off, so I am fine painting over it. I'm sure some of you guys will have conflicting opinions about this, but I'm doing it my way. So here we go.
Where'd all my wires go? As you can see, the kickstand has a lot of pitting, and I'm going to need to sand it flat with the flap disc. Here we go. Alright, so I'm going to use a drill with a little wire wheel here just to get to the areas I couldn't get to with the angle grinder, such as like these tight spaces right in here.
Well, one eternity later, and I ended up taking all the paint off of the frame anyways, because once I started hitting it with the wire wheel, the paint was just coming off so easily. Every time I think I'm done, I see another speck of rust or paint. See, I can't help it. I gotta put the brush down. Okay, I'm done. Okay, now let's see how the parts have been doing. They've been sitting in here for a couple of days. I'm gonna just pour this stuff back in the bottle here. So they definitely look a whole lot better. That rust that was on there just turned into black, which is definitely better than rust, but they're still pretty dirty. So let's give them a spray down. Yeah, that stuff definitely works. I mean, it takes a couple days, but look at these bolts. They look great. Now, in order to get all this stuff painted, I'm going to tie some steel wire to it and then hang it up and paint it that way. For the bolts, I'm going to be using a cardboard box and poke ton of little holes in it. Then I will just stick the bolts in the hole, and there we go. There's all the bolts ready for some paint. Welcome to my paint booth here in the garage. Got all the parts hung up, garage door open, ventilation fan, got all my bikes covered up with a tarp, and I guess we are ready to go. First things first, I'm going to take my little air compressor blower here and just blow all of the dust off of these parts first and foremost. And now I've got some paint thinner in a spray bottle here. So I'm going to spray it on all these parts because it's just easier than wiping it on. And it's great to inhale also. It really gives you a good buzz. Just kidding. Very well ventilated in here. Okay, now I'm gonna let that sit and just let it do its thing. Remove any final grease from the parts. Okay, it seems like most of the paint thinner has evaporated off, so I'm just gonna hit it with the spray gun once more just to dry it off and get any remaining dust off of them. So it's about 45 degrees today, so I'm going to use a heat gun to, well, number one, finish drying the paint thinner off the parts, and also just warm them up a little bit so the paint doesn't like get shocked when it gets onto a cold surface. Here we go. Alright, I think that's good. Ready to go? Here's what I'm going to be using for paint. For the primer, I'm using a self-etching primer. This is really good for bare metal. And then for the paint, the color, I'm going to be using this gloss black engine paint. This is good for 500 degrees, but that's not why I'm using it. I'm using it because it is resistant to oil and fluids, which is very important for a motorcycle frame because it's around a lot of oil and fluids. Let's get some primer on this stuff.
Safety first. I'm going to use the heat gun again. Let's see if we can help this paint set up nice and quick. It's been about 15 minutes. It's looking pretty dry, so I'm going to hit it with a second coat of primer. So I definitely missed some spots, like right here, for instance.
Alright, so that's the primer. It's all done. Now I'm going to let this dry for about 30 minutes, and then I will hit it with the top coat. Alright guys, well the frame is all painted. Everything's painted. Swing arm, these little things, foot pegs, springs, you know, skid plate, kickstand. It all got painted in this video. This was a lot more work than I thought it was going to be, but I think it came out really good, and I'm starting to see the bike put together. I'm getting really excited. I think it's going to look like super factory, just super clean, and like it's brand new, just rolled off the assembly line. So I'm getting really excited, and hopefully you guys are too. Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of fun with this. It was a lot of work though, and it was a lot of cleaning, and just, it was a tough one. Anyways, hopefully you guys liked the video, and hopefully you guys are getting excited about seeing this bike finished up, because it's coming, you know, maybe a month or so and it'll be done. It is going to be tough though, because I'm having to work other jobs more to try and pay bills and pay taxes, because all that stuff costs a whole lot of money. If you want to help me out and make it so that I can sort of spend more time making YouTube videos instead of working other jobs, I would really appreciate it if you just support me on my Patreon or my PayPal, or even go to my eBay store and just buy some parts if you need them. I've got tons of motorcycle parts on there, so check that stuff out. Link will be down in the description. If you want to stay in the loop with more of these restoration videos, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on another upload. Comment down below how you guys do your frames. I know a lot of people powder coat them, a lot of different ways to do it, but I do think that the engine paint is a good, easy way to go, and it will hold up really well. So let me know what you guys do in the comments down below. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.